Hey guys, welcome to Misfits TV. I am Misfit1, and today I'm just going to be doing a simple tech job. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be dropping this M115 spring inside this HK416 CQB from Elite Force. It's going to be a pretty simple job, but I'll go over how to take the gearbox apart. I won't go into detail. I'll just do the video. You guys can watch me take it apart, put it back together. Shouldn't have too many snag ups, but while I'm in there, I'm also going to check the O-ring around the cylinder head, and I'm also going to check the O-ring around the piston head as well, make sure you got good compression. What this customer is wanting is, since this gun shoots 340 to 350 right out of the box, he's wanting to get it up to like 360, 370, you know, make it more of a field style gun. So, with good compression and an M115 spring, I should get him right around that 360 to 370 mark. Might even give him a little bit higher, closer to 400, but we'll see once I do the compression. All right, guys, as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment in the box below. I know there's many different ways to tech, but this is just one of the ways. So when you're commenting, please keep that in mind that, you know, I'm not a super... Yep. GoPro recording? Alright guys, here we have a version 2 VFC gearbox, and what we're going to be doing is just a simple spring swap. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get yourself a fine tip screwdriver and make sure it'll fit in all of these bad boys right here. These are standard Phillips heads. Alright, what I'm going to start doing now is I'm just going to go ahead and start taking apart the gearbox, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment in the box below. I'll do my best to go ahead and answer those questions when they arise. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start digging into this bad boy. Alright, now when working on gearboxes, you definitely want to consolidate all the parts. That way you make sure you know where everything's at. Okay, looks like I forgot to untighten these two, so I gotta redo this. Alright, now that all the screws are out, I'm ready to pop the top shell off the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the screwdriver. Back here there's a small hole where your spring guide is. You definitely want to hold that in while you're taking this top shell off, or otherwise it'll start flying everywhere. And voila! Just push that in, pull that out, and now I'm going to take the old spring out, open up the new spring, put this in here. That way the customer will have his old spring if we ever want to switch back. Okay, now since these gears look a little dirty, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean them up. I'm going to pop this entire cylinder assembly out. Check the seal. Looks like the seal's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch the seal a little bit. By doing this, it'll give your gearbox a little bit more better compression, so it'll raise up the velocity just a little bit. Check the compression by holding down on the air nozzle and pushing forward. You notice there's pretty good resistance there. That means you have really good compression. So when it's all said and done, this customer should be shooting close to 400 feet per second.
I'm also going to check the gears, make sure they're okay. Everything seems on the up and up. Just clean some of this old grease out. Now what I'm about to do is optional if you're just doing a simple spring change without doing the gears or anything. If you're doing this, make sure you know where all the shims go, and if you drop any shims, you're going to have to re-shim the entire gearbox. Hopefully that won't be the case here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to re-lube the gearbox with some silicone. Here at TA Airsoft we use this ICS silicone gear lubricant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the bushings. I'm also going to spray this gear right here. Alright, looks like I didn't drop any shims, so that's good. I don't have to re-shim the gearbox. You're going to spin this freely. Make sure that both the gears get lubed up. You're going to replace this gear. You're going to have to hold the anti-reversal latch down. Then let it go. It should pop right back into place. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to replace the cylinder system back in here. Make sure everything lines up. And what you want to do, these lines right here, there's a little groove inside the gearbox. You're going to want to make sure those grooves line up. That way the piston will slide freely. Alright, so everything's back in there. I'm going to attach this spring to this piece right here. Alright, now the fun part. Adding the new spring inside the cylinder. Now, there's a few different techniques to do this. The easiest one that I found is pushing this all the way forward, locking it in, holding pressure down on the screwdriver, the spring and cylinder itself, and then simply just sliding this back on. Again, reset it, and then try it again. There we go. So now that's all that back in place. Make sure your air nozzle still moves. Make sure the trigger still works. Alright, now we're just going to put it back together. And that's going to wrap up this spring change video. Once it's all said and done, I'll do a chrono test and show you what it's chronoing at now. Alright, thanks for watching, guys.